Alright, well, this is where I got to for tonight. If I have to, I can get up there, borrow a bunch of this dirt. I'll have to use that rolling method that the gentleman Marty taught me last summer, to roll the rocks out and then you leave the dirt. And this is where I got to. There's some big stones down here that obviously are gonna take a bit more work, and it's getting late and I got chores to do, so. And then a 2-hour ride in the morning back to trucking school. So, as you can see, I already rolled some of them out. But I'm going to try and cut this down into that low spot there and build it up. And then we might have to come the other way and come down the low spot and build it up. And then I'll probably just wait and see how it does over one winter. And then next year I'll come back in and put culverts in and stuff. Good morning, you guys. Today I'm just gonna walk you through how I use onXOffroads to track where my trails are going up through my property. So that's an overview of the farm right there, and you can't see our property lines. I don't pay for them. I should, but I don't have the extra right now to pay for it. But I should upgrade it. But when I go hiking, you just go into content and go show all. So I've already tracked through and I've put a bunch of marks there, and then in order to get rid of those, you just go back. If you're on your main scope, so you go back, you can see all my marks there, and so you just go my content, the 3 dots on the right, hide all, and there you go. So the little blue dot down there is where we're sitting in the dozer right now. So we're going to go to go and track, which is here on your right hand side, and you just hit record track, and it shows which way you're pointing, because we're going to be backing up the hill right now. So I'll show you that in a second. Guardian dog, she's out with the ewe and her lamb, just getting the lamb used to being around the livestock dogs, and she's in heat. We don't want puppies, so they're separated for the time being. She's pretty sad about it, but that's alright. She'll live. I go up and give her cuddles when it's dinner time, but see the lambs over there underneath the shelter. That's a shelter on a hay wagon chassis, and I just pull it around in each new pasture. So as soon as she's out of heat in a few days, she will get to go back out with the other goats, and we'll leave those 2 sheep. They'll go in with all the other goats and sheep away from the ram. The ram's going to stay with the cow, and we're going to go from there. So I'll put the ram back on probably December or January, so that we have lambs in May, or late May, early June. Alright. I'm going to track up the trail, and my boss was here on, well, I don't know what day it was, but he was here one day and spent a few hours, and then did an oil change on the dozer and filled it up with fuel, and so he got a good fair ways. So I'm just going to track through it with the onXOffroads working, and then we'll be able to see where we're going, and I'll show you when we get up there where we're headed from where he worked from. So shortly. Alright, well, this is where we finished off, and you can see down through there, that's where he continued going with the dozer from where I parked it. So that's a bit of an issue there. We'll have to try and find some dirt and push it into that hole. here. But like I said, I want to put a lot of wood chips on this trail when we're done with it. And so it'll cover up any stones that we can't get out. It would be nice to have an excavator with a thumb on the size of that one. It'd be nice to have an excavator with a thumb and be going through with the excavator first and pulling out all the big rocks, but well, that's not how it's working, so that's alright. This dozer is quite the machine, and so you can see down here, he's pushed up all that for me. Cleaned out this section here, pushed it all back. He didn't really touch this hillside, but I think what I'm going to do is he mentioned it, but I think all these young balsams that are not very good, we're going to push down into this low spot that we're going over top of right now. If I push a bunch of those down into here, and then push a whole bunch of this dirt from the top of the hill down over them, that'll create drainage, because there's if you haven't watched any of my other videos, there's a wet spot right in there that it's almost a natural spring, and it comes kind of, all the hill flow comes right down through here, so we're just going to keep tracking along here. Like I said, he didn't do too much here because it doesn't really need too much. If I want to, like I said, all these balsams will push down into that wet spot that's down there, and then push a whole bunch of this dirt off the top of this, cut it down. So this is where we're going to head up and get it stumped and leveled out so that it's a decent walk. But this is where he went for me. Came up that hill there and pushed some of this stuff back for me. There's that big pile of brush from my last video, one of my other videos, with the forwarder, piling all the brush up, or something like that. And so yeah, he followed this trail, went between this birch and this big white pine there. One that the wife wants to keep. It's a good trail marker. You can see the size of these rocks in here that he had to push out. Some big ones, the size of that one there. We live in rock country, that's for sure. So it'd be nice to get a nice big haul truck and a big excavator with a thumb to be able to take these down and, you know, use them for retaining walls and stuff. But that's a future plan. Okay, so he got all this pushed out for me. He went right in between the rock walls here and opened it up, and there's a big rock right there. I don't think he could even get down into it, so we're just going to leave that one there. If anything, I can put a little bit of dirt from behind me there and push it up over this way. So this is the rock wall that we're crossing right now. If you've watched any of the other videos, it goes all the way down to behind the riding arena. And this is what he came out with for me, so it looks great. And it goes all the way up into the old field, and you can see the old farmhouse up on the top of the hill there. Which is where we want to get to, so I'm just going to track up here and then show you the onXOffroad and how it tracks us, and make a waypoint where he came out up here, and then I'll be able to, when we cut back up that trail and come back down and around, I'll be able to combine the trails and figure out where to go from that little bit of area that I haven't gone through yet. So well, this worked out good. So this is kind of where I want to put the pond in, right down in here. Put a dam way on the other side of some of those trees over there, because there's a spring that comes through, kind of comes through down here, and there's one up here. And so it looks like this is some nice gravel stuff underneath us here from what he cut into, so that would be good, because you can use that as the dam and then level this all out. front of the house, but we'll see if that project ends up happening this year. So you can see he piled a bunch of the brush up into there that he cut through for me, and so our trail that we're going to come through is somewhere up there, and we'll pop out up above this here. Alright, so this is where he finished off. He pushed some of those alders out. There you go, there's some of the water from the spring. Oh, and you can see it running. If you look just below the blade there, you can see the water running out. So, but that's that field at the old farm. It's starting to grow up nice. I'll have to get the horses up here shortly. Let's take a look at the onXOffroads. Okay, so as you can see, we started down where the red dot starts down there, and we've tracked up, and we've kind of followed this ridge in between these two ridge lines, and now we're up here, which is right at the old farmhouse, which you can kind of see the roof right above my thumb there on the map. If you look hard, which is well, you can't really see it. You can kind of see the red roof over top of the trees if you look real hard right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to track back down the trail, and I'm going to get turned around, and we're going to go back up the trail up into this clearing here. Oops. We're going to go back up into this clearing here, and then we'll take the trail around the next ridge line and come down, and we'll meet somewhere just above where we are right now. You can see where the lines get close together there. So that's the plan. We'll see how that works out. Well, I get busy going and the camera is not facing anything, but I cut down this trail here, push that up. I should probably just knock this down and cut that hillside out, but I'm going to leave it for now and see what happens. But yeah, I pushed up that brush pile, pushed some of the dirt into here, There's some big rocks, like there's no way I'm getting that one out. It'd be nice if I had an excavator, but like I've said before, that's not happening. And right here I was like, oh, maybe I'll get some dirt, but there's a stone that's probably the size of the dozer in the way, so I may come and cut some more of this hill down, but we're gonna go up here and de-stump everything that's in front of us there and level this all out, make it nice and passable by horse or machine, and go from there. So the dozer blade's holding up pretty good. Well, the plates are holding up, but you can see how much of a beating they take. So we're gonna cut this hillside out. There's stumps in here, these stumps here, push all that down. Try not to get to the bottom of the white pines, but just make kind of a windrow there, and then there's a big stone pile here, so we'll see what happens with that. But so I think what I'll do, we'll come up, push these stumps out, and then leave this rock for now, push all this down into there like I said, and then I'll probably go that way and push all these stumps this way and just make a big pile of stumps and brush down in there. And then we'll try and cut this hillside out, cut these rocks out, and level this all out into one area. So see if I can find a good place to put you down and get a view of the dozer working its magic.